Hi, my name is Callie Chappelle, and thanks for joining me on this video, How to Be Negative, Part 1, The Basics. This video is part of a larger series of videos that I'm doing called the Novice Go Fight Win Debate series, a video series aimed at teaching novices how to do policy debate. So my name is Callie Chappelle, and I'm a debater for the University of Michigan. I debated for Traverse City Central High School, and I'm a second negative, first affirmative speaker. Fun fact about me is that I think that 2NC process counter plans rock. Not that you read a process counter plan for the first time in the 2NC, that you extend it in the 2NC. Alright, so how do you make the most out of these videos? Well, first you should take notes, and you should rewatch bits you need re-explained. Hopefully we'll have worksheets and or supplemental materials that will go along with the video, so check in the video description to see if I've posted those. Next, you don't need to memorize it all. What we want you to be is at least familiar with everything in the video, because it's the building process. And finally, your coach may like things differently, or you may like to debate in a different style. That's totally okay. This is just one starting point, and it's not an end point. So where are we going? Well, this is an introductory video, or a series of 3 videos about the basics of being negative. So we're through 3 big things that we're going to cover in this video, and we're paralleling it to with the How to Be AF videos, right? So the first is the main objectives of the neg team. And that's what we're going to focus on in this video. In part 2, we're going to talk about the big ideas of the main neg speeches and how to put neg speeches together. And then part 3, we're going to talk about what to do when you're not speaking. So let's get started. Here are the main objectives, not objections, of the neg team. First is the big idea. So, you have to win that a world without the AF is a better world to live in, okay? So, the world without the AF could be one of 2 worlds. The first is the status quo, doing nothing. That would be the world of a counterplan in the 2NR. Or 2, the world of a counterplan or a K alternative. Not too bad, right? You just have to prove that the AF is a bad idea, aka there's a better world than the world with the AF. So how do you win on the negative? Well, it's actually a lot less complicated than being AF, because you get to choose what world you want to advocate in the 2NR. You don't always have to advocate in the 2ER, the world of the AF, like when you're AF, you get to choose based on how the debate goes down. So here are some different worlds that you can advocate in the 2NR. So you can advocate the world of the DA, aka the status quo, versus the world of the AF. You can advocate the world of a counterplan plus a DA as a net benefit versus the world of the AF. You can advocate the world of an alternative, like a critique, versus the world of the AF. Or in the case of topicality, you can advocate the world of the neg T interpretation versus the world of the AF T interpretation. But we're not going to discuss topicality in this video because it's qualitatively very different types of speeches, and those are more detailed in the topicality video. Alright, so let's talk first about the status quo, aka a DA, versus the AF. So that's the argument that the plan causes worse things to happen than the things that the AF solves. In other words, the impacts of the DA outweigh the impacts of not doing the AF. So doing the AF is worse than doing the AF. Doing the AF is worse than not doing the AF. So to win a DA, you have to win that. First, the DA has uniqueness, so the impacts won't happen in the SQO. 2, the DA links to the plan, so the plan causes something bad to happen. The DA has worse impacts on the plan, so the bad things the plan causes are worse than the things that'll happen if we don't do the AF. And finally, if the AF turns the DA, the turn isn't true, right? So you have to win the impact or the link debates, right? So, for example, if the AF solves hegemony and the impact to the DA is hegemony, you have to prove that the AF destroys hegemony, not that it solves it. Alright, here's the next one, the counterplan versus the AF. So you have to win 3 things. First, you have to win that the counterplan is better than the AF in some way, aka by winning the net benefit. Next, you have to win the counterplan is competitive with the AF. So you have to win that the perm is worse than doing the counterplan alone. So remember, you have to win that either the counterplan and the plan can't happen simultaneously, or you have to win that it's worse to do both the plan and the counterplan at the same time, aka the perm. And finally, you have to win the counterplan is theoretically legitimate. So you have to win any theory arguments that the AF makes on the counterplan or against the counterplan. The last world is the K versus the AF. So you have to win the following things. First, you have to win that there's something about the AF that is not okay. So that's the K-link. So examples are the AF has a bad epistemology, the AF uses bad representations, and the 1AC are bad reps, or the AF uses racist language, etc. Next, you have to win that the impacts of this bad thing that the AF does outweighs the AF. Okay? So the impacts of racism, for example, outweigh the impacts of the AF. The third is you have to win that alternative action that solves a problem, that there is an alternative action that solves a problem, and that action is better than the AF. Fourth, you have to answer the perm. So you, just like a counterplan, you have to prove that doing the K by itself is better than doing the AF and the K. And you have to win a way the judge should evaluate the debate, which is framework. So sometimes the K you would evaluate the same way that you were evaluating a policy option, but sometimes you don't evaluate the K the same way. You want to explain to the judge a different way they should evaluate the debate. For example, instead of counting body counts like we typically do in a debate round where extinction outweighs, you might want to be like, no, instead of evaluating how many people die, we should evaluate the ethical implications of our actions instead of using utilitarianism. So that is something that you'll have to explain in the framework debate. And this will be discussed a lot more in lectures specifically about the K. I'm not going to do that for this set of videos, but pretty soon we'll have some videos about the K. Alright, and finally, T. We're not going to discuss topicality here, so if you have questions, you should definitely rewatch the T lecture. But some people think that T is a good 2NR strategy. I don't know what they're doing. Just kidding. Topicality is a great 2NR strategy. I just really like making jokes about hating topicality. Topicality is a really great arg. Alright, so here's the big idea. You, the negative, have to do whatever you can to prove the AF is a bad idea. That either there's another thing that one could do that is better, such as a counterplan or a critique, or that doing nothing is preferable to doing the AF, and that's a DA. So, two big ideas about being negatives. So, there are two types of speeches, right? Constructives and rebuttals. So the constructives, you give lots of reasons why the app is bad and doesn't do anything, and then the rebuttal, you should pare down these reasons and focus in and explain a couple of your big ideas really well, okay? So this is the end of this just introductory video, but coming up next is, in part 2, are explanations of every neg speech in the debate, plus some fun personification, which you should definitely check out. And part 3 is where I talk about what to do when you're not speaking. So, as the 1N, what do I do during the 2NC? What should I be doing? Well, I'll explain exactly what that is in that video. So I hope to see you soon, and good luck, and go fight win.